Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
This is Autoline Daily for Monday, June 14th, 2010, and now the news. A report from the consulting firm Alex Partners says the U.S. car market does not look as optimistic as it did at the beginning of the year. Most of the recovery is being fueled by fleet sales to daily rental companies, as well as corporate and government fleets. The Wall Street Journal reports that fleet sales are up 32% this year, while retail sales are up 13%. I would point out that the Detroit Three dominate the fleet business, and while they're often criticized for having too many sales to fleets, maybe now that'll look to start being pretty smart. And in related news, WardsAuto.com reports that inventory levels in the American market are falling. It says automakers and their dealers now have a 49-day supply, which is the lowest it's been since July of 2005. Ward says the low inventory is a reflection of low production, and that's because automakers believe the recovery is still very weak. Will the government regulations to improve fuel efficiency ever work if the price of gasoline remains low in the American market? The price of gasoline has been steady for some time now, and Ward's reports that sales of some of the most fuel-efficient cars, like the Honda Fit and Toyota Yaris, are going down. In the first 5 months of this year, cars that get over 30 miles per gallon, that's a little under 8 liters per 100 kilometers, they've dropped 10%, even though the overall market is up. Sales of hybrids have done well, but vehicles that get between 20 and 30 miles per gallon have gone up the most. Automakers are about to bring out a lot of small, fuel-efficient cars to meet CAFE standards, and this trend could cause headaches for the industry. If you are not aware of our new program, Open Line, that runs on Monday nights, it's not like anything else out there. Earlier, I Skyped up the host of the show, Michelle Naranjo, to get a recap of what last week's show was all about. Hi, Michelle. Good seeing you again.
Hi, John. Great to be here.
So bring us up to speed. What did you all talk about last week on Open Line?
There was another over 5 hours of, the usual conversation, which is always fun.
I'm just blown away. 5 hours. What an astonishing accomplishment, really.
It's pretty incredible how long we can talk about some of the topics. And of course, we had our usual debates over Ford Fiesta versus the Cruze, and Mustang versus Camaro. A lot of fun conversation.
And it seems like you're getting more and more people entering in with, I don't know if I want to call it a debate, like you say, it's a discussion.
I think that at any given time we have at least 15 people, and everyone pretty well conducts themselves in an organized manner. I can't believe it just seems to fall into place.
And I understand that we're expanding our universe here. We've got a new partner joining with Open Line.
We are. We have Blue Oval News joining us along with our other streaming partners, GM Inside News and Allpar. So it's pretty exciting.
It's good to see that the program continues to find a bigger audience.
Thanks. We're enjoying it.
Okay, Michelle, thanks for the update, and we'll see you tonight on Open Line.
Great. Thank you.
You can get all the info of how to tune into Open Line at our website, AutolineDetroit.tv. The Opel Meriva arrived at dealerships in Europe over the weekend, but unless you pre-ordered one, you probably had a hard time finding one. The company said 30,000 had already been ordered before it hit the dealerships. Opel only planned for 50,000 to be sold this year, but next year the company expects sales of 130,000 units. The car features what Opel calls flex space, which allows seating to be reconfigured from 2 to 5 seats. Pricing for the vehicle starts at 15,900 euros, or just over $19,000. The Chinese government announced it will extend its version of cash for clunkers to the end of the year. According to Gascou, the subsidies range from $350 to $700, and since the program started last year, 127,000 vehicles have been replaced. Chinese automaker SAIC introduced its own electric vehicle concept called the Yes, which is a take on the Mandarin word for leaf. But this electric car has nothing in common with Nissan's EV of the same name. According to Gascou, the car gets most of its power from a solar panel mounted on the roof of the car. Illuminated power lines show the flow of energy and are meant to look like veins on a leaf. But that's not what really sets this concept apart. The wheels are equipped with small wind generators which turn wind into electricity. And the body of the vehicle is made of metal organic framework materials, or MOFs, that capture water and carbon dioxide from the surrounding air through absorption and combine the two through a process of artificial photosynthesis that not only generates electricity, but also creates air conditioning refrigerant and exhales oxygen back into the atmosphere. A cool concept for sure, but SAIC says it'll take 20 years before the technology is ready to be used on cars out on the road. Hey, can automakers make profits on small cars? You bet they can, especially if they add high-performance models to the line. More on that right after the break.
Introducing Bridgestone's third generation of run-flat tires with groundbreaking new Bridgestone technologies. Bridgestone run-flat tires offer improved ride comfort, lower rolling resistance, and improved wear while giving you the peace of mind and comfort you need.
The Mini has been out for over a decade now, and while it still has basically the same design, sales are holding their own. One reason has to do with the special models of the car that have come out, and they are a key factor that makes the Mini a success. How can a company like BMW possibly make a small car like the Mini and turn a profit on it? Well, this version happens to be the answer to that question. The John Cooper's works. It's got a turbocharged engine, direct injection, all kinds of bits and pieces on it. This one happens to be the Cabrio version, the convertible. It costs almost $39,000. That's more than twice the base price. So is it worth the money? Come on, I'll take you for a test drive and show you the pros and cons of this car. And one of the cons is that this door handle is hard to get open. Of course, before we get going, first thing we have to do is put the top down, which is an easy thing to do, all in just one motion here. Really opens up the car and gives us what is really the best part about driving this John Cooper's work Cabrio. The best part about driving this John Cooper's work Mini is the turbo on the engine. This thing really gets it, and it sounds great. One thing that I found about this car that I don't like is if you're making fast 2 to 3 shifts, you can miss a shift. You can grind a gear. At first I thought it was me, but no, it happens too much. The problem's with the car. Just one thing, if you do get a John Cooper's work Mini, I hope you live in an area where the roads are smooth, because with the sport suspension, this thing's awfully rough. Ooh! I really like this car. It's a lot of fun to drive, especially with the top down on a sunny day. But is it worth almost $39,000? Not in my book. You can get a lot of other cars for that kind of money. Despite having the same basic body style since it came out, sales of the Mini are running slightly ahead of where they were last year. And that's it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.